Nestor here. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning me in today. So today I'm going to be showing you how I prepare cabbage rolls. Based on a Ukrainian recipe that my mom showed me how to make. And so this video is dedicated to my mom, who passed away about 7 years ago or so. So my favorite cabbage to use for cabbage rolls is flat cabbage. You can see it's nice and flat. The veins are not as tough as regular green cabbage, and has a nice mild flavor. The other one I'm going to be using is a Napa cabbage, also known as Chinese cabbage, and apparently it has a mild sweet flavor as well. The veins look pretty easy to remove, and so nothing ventured, nothing gained. I just can't wait to see what these turn out like. So without further ado, let's start preparing these cabbages. But first, I always prepare the rice, so I'm going to get to that back in a second. So today, before I start boiling the cabbage, I always like to prepare the rice first, so that there's a lot of time for the rice to cool down, because there's nothing worse than handling hot rice. And I found while it's cooling off, it allows the rice to get all nice and sticky, which is the perfect way that I found, so it doesn't fall apart when making the cabbage rolls. So here's the brand I'm using today. You can use whatever brand you prefer, but I like a long grain rice. So we're going to start off with, it's a double recipe, so it's going to be 4 cups of water, and in that we're going to put in 2 cups of the long grain rice. And that's it. It's that simple. Typically when people core out a cabbage, they use a knife, but not this guy. This guy wants to do it the manly way with my 3/4 inch spade bit. I think it's going to work. I hope so. At least I don't have to worry about the knife slipping, and it should be more efficient. And let's give it a try. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So I'm only going to get one shot at this because I only have one head of cabbage. I can't make like 5 takes. So let's see what happens. Hey, that turned out pretty good. But I think I want to use a bigger spade bit. This is a 1.5 inch. So let's change that out in the drill, and we'll be right back. Okay, let's go with the bigger bit. Ooh. Whoa, lettuce everywhere. That's going to be fun to clean up. Anyway, that is a great coring job. Look at that, right? Perfect. I mean, absolutely perfect. Let's give it a little spank. Look at that. Perfectly clean. This cabbage is going to be a piece of cake to remove the leaves in hot water. So, wow, I'm glad that worked. The rice is definitely finished, and it's nice and sticky. I don't know if you can see that. It's leaving the spoon nice and slow, and so I'm going to put this aside in a nice cool spot and give it a lot of time to cool off, and then we'll get started on boiling the cabbage. Hey, coring out that cabbage was so much fun. So now we're going to place the cabbage in the boiling water really carefully, and I'll turn it like that. I'm going to try and sink it as much as possible to get water in the center of it, and Wait for the leaves to start falling off. As they start falling off, what I like to do is get a big flat pan like this with a cooling rack at the bottom, so that gives the cabbage leaves a chance to cool off and to drain as well. So, handy little tip if you're going to decide to make these cabbage rolls. So this, I can't say how long it's going to take, but when the leaves pretty much come off by themselves, I mean, this one is off already, but I'd like it to get a bit greener. So the leaves are coming off quite nicely, and one by one I'll just place them on the cooling rack in that big pan. And the real nice ones, the perfect leaves, I'll put on the far left, the not so perfect in the middle, and the grade C ones will go on the far right hand side. So this requires a little bit of patience. Wait for the leaves to fall off and then carry on. The flathead cabbage leaves are done. So now let's start on the Napa, and we'll just cut down about here and put them in boiling water for a few minutes, and get going on making these cabbage rolls. Let's place the Napa cabbage in the boiling water, and I'm not going to do the whole head right now. I'll do part of it and give it a few minutes to I'll set a timer, 2 minutes, see what that does. Keep in mind, I've never made cabbage rolls with Napa before, but I don't think you want to keep this in the water too long, and I think it's looking real good though. I like the color. So let's keep going with this, and we'll be back in a minute. So the Napa cabbage is ready, and I really like the dark green colors that came out here. I think these ones here are going to be really super tasty. These ones here are very usable, and the parts that I didn't use in here, that when I was cutting this up, I put in the fridge, and I'll make a real nice coleslaw with that tomorrow. So let's get to making some cabbage roll. So this is my little setup when I'm making cabbage rolls. So I have a plate, make it on the plate, trim off the vein here on the plate. I got the cooled off rice. I got my roasting roaster lined with the cabbage leaves that I really didn't like the look of them. So make it here, put it there, and just repeat. So what I like to do is cut off just a bit of the end and toss that, and then remove in your hand a little bit more of the vein. I just don't like the vein at all, and yeah. So I'm using a good size ice cream scoop, and so I take the rice. This is a big leaf, so I'm going to take a big scoop of that, give it a little bit of compaction, drop it in there, and look, it just plops right out. So just place it here, start at the end. As you're folding, fold in the leaves, roll it up to the end, and voila, look at that, you got a perfect cabbage roll. And that's it. Put it in, tuck it in. Let's get another one, see if I can find a nice leaf. Yeah, this one's pretty nice. So open it up. Ooh, kind of fell apart there. let's see what I can do with this. I'm going to cut that off. We're going to get rid of all the vein. The vein there's a little bit of vein left. See if I can get a bit more off. But after this cooks in the oven, it's going to be quite tender. So I'm going to double fold that because there's a hole there. And this won't be as much rice. Pack it down, plop it in, away we go. So move that to the end, slowly, gently roll that up, bring in the sides, roll it up, and now we got a perfect cabbage roll. So I'll do a couple more at a different angle and you'll get a better idea how these things are made. Okay, different angle, and again, cut off as much vein as possible because they are really chewy. You can flip it. I don't see where there's really no difference. And just pack that in. I got it nicely compacted. Drop it near the end. And look at that, just pops right out. So now, you give it a little roll. Keep the rice ball here. And then slowly bring in the sides. Keep on rolling nice and tight. And look at that. Perfect. Perfect. And I'm going to do a couple of the Napa Cabbage leaves, and let's see what that turns out to be. Be right back. So here's one of the Napa leaves. Again, I just love the dark green color in this, and I noticed the vein isn't that tough, so I'm not going to try and attempt to remove it. Plop down our rice, fold it over, and while you're folding this that way, bring in the sides, and then keep on rolling, and voila, same thing. So a nice tight roll, and I'm really happy with that. So I'm going to put those at the opposite end of the flat cabbage and keep on going, and we'll pick this up in a few minutes. Okay, so everything is all done. I used up almost all the rice. The little that I had, I packed it in this corner, which is a trick my mom used to do. So I got the big roaster. I don't know how many's in there, probably a couple of dozen. And here, at least a good dozen. And so how my mom used to do it was to use tomato juice. But instead of just using tomato juice, I'm going to mix it up with this nice Italian thick tomato paste that comes in a tube. Really good stuff. You got to try this. So I'm going to pour most of the juice in here, and just to thicken it, and not only will this thicken it, it's really, it really packs a punch with tomato flavor. Not overpowering, and so actually this is the first time I'm doing it with this, so live and learn. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So it's getting really nice and thick now, and I think that's about the consistency that I want. And what I'd like to do is put a bit of extra virgin olive oil just so the bottom doesn't burn, and not a lot, and just quickly go through there, and it'll seep down to the bottom, and then we'll pour this right on top. Let me get it in from over here. And then this one. So all the tomato juice is seeping to the bottom. Some is staying at the top. And now I'm preheating an oven for 375 degrees. And it'll be in the oven for 30 to 45 minutes. And if I need some more tomato juice later, I have some left over. So that's it. So in the oven it goes. And we'll catch you in a bit. Oh, one other trick is to just, on a hard surface, give the roasters a little banging, and that'll force the juice to go to the bottom. Same thing with this one, gently just kind of turn it around, spin it around. That's it. So into the oven, and let's start cooking. My cabbage rolls are cooked to perfection. I prefer them just like this on the brown side. So they were in the oven at 375 for 50 minutes. And I just kept an eye on them, and this is how I prefer to eat them. The way they are, I'm going to let them cool further, and once they've cooled, I'll put them in the fridge, and tomorrow I'll load them in freezer bags. And these cabbage rolls, they freeze so beautifully, and they can stay in the freezer for weeks and weeks and weeks. And pop them in the microwave later, or let them thaw a bit, fry them up. They're perfect fried up. So the next day, these cabbage rolls tomorrow are going to be so flavorful and tasty. It's going to be mind-blowing. So, without further ado, I'm going to try a couple of these. And of course, the best way to have cabbage rolls, in my opinion, is with good old-fashioned sour cream. Sour cream is like the best. Or ketchup. As kids, we used to eat these with ketchup. So this one is the Napa Cabbage, and it is it. Wait a minute. Yes, Napa. And let's take one of the regular ones with the flat cabbage, and we're going to put that just like that. So we're going to have two nice ones, and I won't be stingy with the sour cream. I'm going to give it a good healthy dollop of sour cream. And look at that. Excellent. And this pairs so beautifully with chicken or beef or fish. Like, it's amazing. So I'll cut the yak there and spread out my sour cream. Let's cut this Napa one. Wow. Check that out. They are cooked so thoroughly. So let's go for the regular one that I usually make with flat. Wow. I want to brag, but this is the best one I've made yet. Let's go with the Napa. Very nice flavor. Different than what I'm used to. But basically it's cabbage. So there you have it. 2 big roasters of cabbage rolls. And yeah, I'm going to be freezing most of it. It's just me in here eating, so I'm not going to go through this quickly enough. So tomorrow I will be freezing most of this. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. Take care. Catch you on the next one. Bye now.